Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
It is the Morning Sports Desk on a Thursday, the 10th of April. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. Corey, we got a lot of stuff to talk about on the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Starting off, look at us. We got high school sports on the broadcast schedule this afternoon. Doesn't it feel good?
It does feel good. It feels really good, probably. I don't know. I'm not the one who's doing it. So you tell me how it feels.
It feels good. Despite the fact that it's like a high of 50 in Menahga today, it's going to feel pretty darn good to get a game on the airwaves. We got softball, Park Region Conference, Section 8 AA regular season softball between Wadena Deer Creek and Menahga. So these are two teams that were towards the top of the Park Region Conference a year ago. Wadena Deer Creek was able to come away with the Park Region Conference title, and both these teams gearing up for another strong softball season. I'm sure if you polled both of these teams before the year and you just got them in a room and you said, hey, who's winning the conference this year? Each of them are probably going to say, we are.
Yeah, they would be right to do it. And it's not just the two of the best teams in the Park Region Conference. It's two of the best teams in their respective sections too, or are they in the same section?
Yep. They're in the same section.
So the top teams in the conference, top teams in the section. This is like exactly what you want if you're a good team like these two are to start the season. You want an immediate barometer for how what needs to happen for the rest of the season.
Right, exactly. Now, again, it's kind of tough. A lot of teams haven't gotten a ton of games in yet. So far for Wadena Deer Creek, they've played just one game. That's a 7-4 victory at Pillager a couple weeks ago, back in March, if you can believe it. And that for Menahga here on the schedule, they haven't gotten a game in yet, at least according to MinnesotaScores.com. A lot of them have gotten pushed back and things of that sort. So we'll figure things out when that gets there. But if you want to go back to a season ago, because by the way, this game is going to be on the Superstation K-106, 105.9 FM, streaming online at WDenaRadio.com, or the Superstation K-106 mobile app. It's got a 4:15 pregame, a 4:30 first pitch. Last year, Menahga was at 19-6. They were 6-5 in Section 8 AA, 11-3 in the Park Region Conference. Wadena Deer Creek took the conference at 12-2. Menahga was 11-3, so it was pretty tight down the wire. And if you look at the head-to-heads that these two teams had, Wadena Deer Creek got a 2-1 victory in Menahga on April 25th. And then these two teams played a little bit earlier in the season. It was a 3-2 win for Wadena Deer Creek at the WDC softball field. So Wadena Deer Creek swept the season series last year, and I know that Menahga team is going to be out for a little bit of revenge, maybe isn't the right word, but a little bit of like, we want to show that last year, like, those were coin flip games. Wadena Deer Creek was able to get the 50-50 toss on that one. We want to show that we can go out and take care of business and win things. They got the home field advantage today. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, they have Joey Cole, who from the circle is awesome and does a lot of great things, and she'll most definitely be in the circle today. Wadena Deer Creek has a litany of really nice players on that team. Of course, you have the Dykoff sisters. You have Montana Karsten. You throw in a few others. Ashley Pavic plays third base there. Like, both these teams are really nice and expect to be really nice throughout the course of this season. A lot of not just really good players, but a lot of veteran experience as well. That's really going to shine through. If you look at last year's season standings, like you talked about, Corey, Wadena Deer Creek in the Section 8 2A South subsection was the 1 seed. Right behind them was Menahga with the 2 seed. So these are two teams that are gearing to go, and it's a good start for our broadcast season in the spring sports session. You can find the full broadcast schedule for the week online at WDenaRadio.com or the Superstation K-106 mobile app. Tomorrow we have a baseball version of these two teams, but today it's on the softball field. It's going to be in Menahga. It's going to be a good one. It's a little chilly outside, so if you can't make that game in Menahga, we got you covered on the Superstation K-106. As we say, should be a fun one.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt. Should be a fun one. Morning Sports Desk. What are we doing? Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Speaking of the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade, Corey, they help make the Morning Sports Desk possible.
Indeed, they do. And, a reminder once again about all the different options in the buffet at Pizza Ranch. And, with a place like Pizza Ranch, about pizza. You ever heard of pizza before? They've got it. About the always wonderful chicken, mashed potatoes, just a full slew. But you cannot forget about that salad bar, like the Crantastic salad that has returned. It's delicious and it's back. And I mean, the salad bar is my first trip when I go through the buffet every single time. And I do like a full plate of salad. It's not just like throw a leaf or two on there and get me some chicken fingers. By the way, I eat the chicken fingers too. It is a full plate of salad. And if there's a little room, then right next to it, I'll put a little chocolate pudding, because that's how I roll. And so the buffet is always waiting for you, whatever it is you like to eat, however much of it you want to eat at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. They're ready for you for lunch, for supper, for dine-in, for takeout, for delivery. And the Pizza Ranch will hook you up. Don't forget, Wednesdays are double points days, so you're going to want to take advantage. Then go in, stop in, eat, say hi to Zach, say hi to the whole crew, and then swing on over to the FunZone Arcade just adjacent there and play till your heart's content in the arcade. Shout out Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Just so happy to have them on board with the Morning Sports Desk each and every single day.
All right, Corey, as we talked about on yesterday's podcast, it was a real bummer note. I think we sent Zeke into a meeting just in an awful mood, talking about all the epic Minnesota sports collapses and just how bad the Twins and Wolves played the other night. But the Minnesota Twins last night were able to get a victory. We talked about before how Pablo is the stopper and he's the ace of the rotation, and you need that guy to be your stopper. And really, he did pitch that way. He had an error, give up an earned run. And other than that, he didn't. He left early because of injury in the fifth inning, but he didn't allow an earned run throughout the entire day. But somebody else needed to be the stopper because the Twins threw the ball all over the field and weren't able to get it done on Tuesday night. So Joe Ryan was the stopper, and he pitched, Corey, 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 hits allowed throughout the day, and was able to get a victory. He not only pitched well, productively, but he was efficient. It only took him 85 pitches to get through 7 innings. Honestly, I thought they were going to send him out for the 8th. I think if it was maybe another month from now, he probably gets it. With it being his second or third start of the year, you're not really going to want to push it. Plus, you kind of want to give your bullpen guys some bounce back opportunities with Jackson, Duran, and you send your 1-2 punch out there. They take care of business, and the Twins get a much-needed 4-0 win. We can all agree that Kansas City has been dominated by France because Ty France has got his 4th extra base hit in the series. He got his first home run in a Twins uniform yesterday. Matt Wallner hit a bomb. Carlos Correa got another double. And the Twins were able to flash the leather a little bit with Harrison Bader doubling off. Bobby Witt Jr. was a hit and run on a line drive right to center field, and Bader threw it. I don't know if you saw the replay, Corey, but it was on a rope from center field over to second base to double off one of the fastest runners in baseball. And the Twins were able to come away with a 4-0 win. Willie Castro made a really nice diving play at third base. Ed Julian had a nice pick at second. It was just kind of you needed a good bounce back game from the crew. And it wasn't like an 11-0 stomping, but it was just a nice, solid 4-0 win to, at the very least, just ease kind of the worry that was in the Twins fan base.
Well, it's important to remember that baseball is a team sport, and they needed a pitcher to shut out the opposing team. But it's not like the offense has been a juggernaut and the pitching hasn't been able to hold up its end of the bargain. The pitching generally has held up, has been okay, at least as far as total runs scored in these games. And it was nice to see the offense put up 4. Like 4, you should probably win most games if you score 4 runs.
Yeah, I think 3.5 is like that clip. If you like the average offense scores like 3.6 runs a game. So if you have 4 runs a game, you win a lot of games.
So you're going to win a lot that way. And while I agree with you, it was nice to get like Joe Ryan pitched really well. It was also just nice to see that the offense could do a little something, just anything, just do anything, show any sign of life. And like you said, it wasn't 11-0 drubbing. This team did not need any 11-0 drubbing. They needed to show that they could just do anything, and 4 runs and scoreless through 7 or whatever you said it was. That's just a good like foundation. Now you don't go ahead and win this afternoon, please. And
Kansas City, and it won't be a great series, but at least you just kind of get out of there without damage caused.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I think if you go into that series and you say, hey, the Twins split with the Royals, you go, yeah, you know what? I can see it. That probably makes sense. I can see them splitting that 4-game series. But after the way the first 2 games went, if you say they split, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, there's a difference between winning the first 2 games and then losing the last 2 and splitting, or winning every other, or losing the first 2 and then winning the next 2. You feel much better about that, especially considering losing the first 2 and what happened previous to this series.
Right.
2 in a row is going to feel like it's going to feel important.
It's going to feel good. Bailey Ober on the bump today for the Twins. It's a day game, so by the time you're listening to this, the game's either in progress or it's over, so we're not going to spend too much time looking on that. Then there's the Twins go home to play the Detroit Tigers and the New York Mets. Things could always be worse, by the way. Do you see the Chicago White Sox lost a game because the potential go-ahead run pulled his hamstring going in between third and home?
Mm-hmm.
Got thrown out on just without any effort. It's
that would have been maybe just a colossal collision. It seemed like, you're watching the highlight and you can't always see where everybody is, but you can feel like your body's trying to time it up a little bit. And it was feeling like it was going to be an unbelievable collision. And then all of a sudden the ball gets to home plate and the camera kind of zooms out to get a good view. And the guy isn't even on the screen yet. Like, what happened? Oh, his hamstring died. That's what happened. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, there's nothing you can do when that happens. You either fall over or give up because there's nothing you can do. You
just kind of hobble and you hope that the left fielder Eddie Rosario's it and throws it 3 rows into the bleachers.
That's exactly right.
That's what you hope. And unfortunately, they threw it too high.
Yeah, it was right. It was a strike from center field.
And you're done. You're done. If that would have happened to the Twins after like the last couple games, I think it just would have been like cancel the season. Like it's just done. And the White Sox were already canceling this season. But if you needed any indication that the White Sox are the White Sox, this is like whenever the White Sox get good again, whether it's in 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, I hope, like they'll play that clip as like it was rock bottom for this team.
Yeah, it's really it's awful when you stink talent wise compared to everyone else that you're playing. And then when you pile on with getting unlucky on top of it, it's like, come on, we can't even get lucky and lose. We have to suck and be unlucky and lose. Like it's just an awful piling on.
Pittsburgh Pirates, by the way, did you see this yesterday? There was an infield pop-up and they had like 3 guys like collide into each other.
I did not see that.
So good job all around, guys.
It's early, baby.
It's April baseball at its finest.
Great
job all involved.
For the pros.
Speaking of April, it's April basketball, which means that is much more impactful at this point in the season. With the Minnesota Timberwolves, they did not play last night, but they got a huge pick-me-up after their just crushing loss to Milwaukee. The Warriors lost last night. Buddy Hield, of all people, hits one at the buzzer, and the Warriors lose.
I did see that. He elected to not pass it to a wide-open Wardell Stephen Curry in the corner and shot himself.
Did you see the clip where Steve Kerr, they had him mic'd up and they're on the bench like, hey, this is Steph Curry. He's the greatest shooter of all time. Get to know him a little bit. He was wide open. Anyway.
Buddy Hield can shoot it though a little.
He can, but it's the Warriors lose, which is important because the Wolves still have an opening for the 4 seed in the NBA. Now, it would take a little bit of help, but they have to win out, and I believe Golden State has to win a game, and Houston, I think, has to beat Houston or some kind of combination of the sorts. But the important thing is a 4 seed is still on the table. If the Wolves win out, they will get into the playoff and avoid the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 games of the season, despite all of our consternation, they should lock in and win. The one will be tonight, which will be kind of the tone setter for a couple different reasons. One, you're coming off of that game against Milwaukee. That was just bad. And you hope that they come out motivated to get the taste out of their mouth. The other reason is why it's big. You're playing Memphis on national TV tonight. And Memphis is a team that historically the Wolves just can't beat when they're at full strength with Ja Morant playing. They swept him last year, but he was hurt and suspended. But with the Grizzlies, that's a team that the Wolves constantly have fallen all over themselves on. Remember the MLK Day game, the afternoon one, where they had a chance to win, and they just lost. They just didn't win that game. So they just puked it up at the end. Remember the playoff series a couple of years ago? They had a chance to win every game, and they puked it up at the end the entire time. So this is something for the Wolves. You got to get this win tonight, and how they play today is kind of going to set the tone for how they're going to finish the regular season.
I mean, this is, we talked about the Milwaukee game yesterday, and it was ugly, and what all those things were true. But what was also true is that if they could afford to lose a game somewhere, it would be that game. By the way, I said they'd go 5-1 over their last 6. That's still in play.
Still in play.
They're going to take this game more seriously. That's just the important thing here. My question is on this playoff outlook. Obviously, you want to have some sort of home court advantage if you can, which is why the 4 seed is important. But my question is the 6 seed situation, because really what it means is they're going to be like a 4 or 5 seed, right? And so that matchup doesn't change for 2 positions on the board for the Timberwolves going forward. If they're a 4 or 5 seed, the only thing that is going to matter is if they're the home team and have a little home court in that series.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a little more dicey once you move to that 6 seed, because now you're distancing yourself a little bit. Do we know before the Milwaukee game, they had the best possible chance of being the 4 seed? That was where their odds.
Best possible chance of the 4 seed right now falls in the Nuggets or the Clippers. The Wolves have a 17% chance of making the 4 seed, an 11% chance of the 5, a 22% chance at the 6,
sure,
a 15% chance at the 7, and a 35% chance at landing the 8 spot in the play-in.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, they're going to need a couple things to go their way. I CJ, I think I fully expect them to win tonight.
Yeah, weirdly, I do.
And
that being said, Ja Morant's putting the finger guns out there everywhere. He's been hitting shots like crazy. So, but still, I feel confident.
He hit 2 shots. He hit a game winner, and then he made 1 3, and those are his reactions to it. I'm over Ja, if you can't tell.
You ever see there's the you're playing POV, you're playing against Ja Morant, and a guy makes a shot, and he just rocket launcher out there, goes next to him and just starts
shit, it's like Grand Theft Auto or something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I fully expect that the Timberwolves to win tonight, and if the goal is to be a top 6 seed, I would imagine. That being said, it has been very clear all season long that the Timberwolves don't care about the regular season all that much. They just don't. I think they're going to be happy to make it, and I think what I hope is that the top 6 is their goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It should be.
And avoiding the play-in, I hope, is their goal.
Right. Now that
move, like we talk about all the time, CJ, the other teams have agency in all of this, though. So the Timberwolves need to take it seriously because of that factor.
Right, exactly. And the other thing is too, the good news is the Wolves are not going to be in that 9 or 10, which means that they only need to win that first play-in game, which again, depending on who it could be, the likeliest spot for the 7, according to playoffstatus.com, is 40% to the Warriors. So theoretically, if it plays off the percentages, the Wolves would be going to Golden State for the play-in game, which is a winnable game, but although the Warriors have been playing much better as of recently, but if you win that game, you play it in a playoff series with the Houston Rockets, who are playing great basketball, but are very inexperienced. So that is the one caveat in there. Whereas if the Wolves get like the 6th seed, right now it looks like that 3 seed is being taken by the Lakers, which, by the way, would be an interesting matchup because the Wolves definitely have the size advantage, and of course the Luka revenge and all that would be interesting. Anyway, tonight is going to give us a much clearer picture because if the Wolves can get the win, it's going to help them against Memphis with just the tiebreaker situations and whatnot. You can knock them down and just everything that goes involved in that. So it just win, please, for my mental health. Please win.
But also, like, I don't know. I'm
really like picking your first round playoff opponent never does anybody any good. Like, just try and get the best seed possible and
yeah, and I don't. You want them to play well because you need to be playing well. I'm having a hard time right now, like trying to grasp my head around the fact if it matters, like winning. If the winning part of it matters, I want them to play well. If they happen to lose because somebody
heck,
if Josh scores 46 tonight, but the Timberwolves play well, then like, okay, that stinks. I don't know if the winning or losing actually matters all that much anymore. I know that seems counterintuitive here, but I mean, they played 78 games. We
kind of know who they are. Yeah, all these next 3 games aren't going to be like they figured it out. Like,
yeah, they're going to gear up for big games. They're going to just let down in other games. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this Timberwolves team. I'm not nearly as excited about them as I was a season ago, but I know that they can beat everybody on the planet. Can they have a little fortitude, mental fortitude to crest through a series? Doesn't really seem like it, does it?
Not the way it ended in Milwaukee.
Not the way I don't know. Screw Milwaukee. 77 games prior to this, CJ. Yeah. They have shown no, like, it just doesn't. They won 8 games in a row against teams who all suck.
Yep.
With the schedule in the NBA. I don't know what that means. I don't know who this Timberwolves team is.
And keep in mind too, remember it was at the end of last year where Phoenix just stomped on the Wolves in that final game of the regular season. The Wolves ended up bouncing down to the 3 seed when there was some other implications on the line. Everyone's like, the Wolves are sputtering down the stretch. Like, pick Phoenix as your trendy upset, and the Wolves curb stomped them and then curb stomped Denver in 2. Like, they played 6 games in a row where they curb stomped their opponent. Mm-hmm. So, like, it doesn't, they've done this trend in baseball, and I think it's true across all sports. They're like, what's the correlation between teams that are hot at the end of the regular season versus teams that struggle going into postseasons? And like, how do they do in the playoffs? The answer is there is no correlation. It's all just kind of random.
Yeah, I know it sounds, when I say like I don't know what to think about this. I know that sounds negative, and especially this is where you can clue in the Milwaukee loss. Like,
right,
it's really easy to beat, but that's not what I mean. It's because they can beat everybody, and that's part of the reason why they've been frustrating this year, is because I think they should beat everybody, but they've been weird. So I just don't know what it means. I know every time they've had a big game, they played well in a big game.
Yep.
And turns out every game in a playoff series is a big game. I kind of trust them to be there in the moment, but I don't know if they consider tonight and the remaining 4 or 5 games, whatever it is, as big moments.
Right.
And we won't know until probably how many minutes are they going to need to play for it to be obvious? 4? A quarter?
Probably about a quarter. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, okay. And if they decide that it's not serious, that is also not a barometer for how they're going to perform in the playoffs because they're weird.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't like weird teams. I wish I just knew.
I personally just wish I watched teams that I knew every night would win.
I just wish they would try hard. Like, I don't care if you suck or not. I mean, I do. I'd rather you not suck. But, like, are you playing hard? Are you going to do, like, are you going to care about the things that I think are important? Because they don't always do that.
Uh-huh. Well, good news is it's going to be a bright and early tip-off at 8:30 tonight. So congratulations, everybody. And congratulations to Memphis, who also gets the tip-off in that. That in Memphis, 8:30 tip-off time.
East of the Mississippi, 8:30 tip-off.
Yep. Good job, everyone. Good job.
We've talked about this before as just a quick aside. They're the team that moves to the Eastern Conference, right?
Probably. Although you could probably say that like they're closer to Texas and OKC and some of those other rivals.
So you think Minnesota?
Well, as somebody who would wish to see the Wolves be in the Eastern Conference, they could never have to fight for the play-in every year like they do. Yeah, because you could say Minnesota would have natural rivalries with Milwaukee, Chicago, Indiana, more than Memphis would.
Yeah, but Memphis isn't far from those places either.
No, but like they have a natural, like they're pulled a little bit more to the south. But where like they have OKC, you have Texas, or you have like you have San Antonio, you have Dallas.
They are east. They're east of the Mississippi. Like there's such this beautiful geographical highlight. But if the NBA adds two teams, I guess that probably it's either New Orleans or it's Memphis for sure, and then either New Orleans or Minnesota.
Right. Watch it be New Orleans, just because they're like, well, it's kind of fun having both those teams in the West, and we'll just
have Zion in the East.
Right. Like we need to just throw the Pelicans in there because whatever, they'll just get mixed in with the slog of other bad Eastern Conference teams.
Geographically, you talk about those Texas teams. Like New Orleans and Houston are not that far apart.
Exactly.
Which might mean you need to separate that a little bit. Minnesota and Milwaukee are not that far apart, which is one of the reasons why they're separated. So, okay, Western Conference it is.
We're stuck. Morning Sports Desk powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. See you tomorrow.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.